My Twitter's been blowing up. Errol, I think my biggest previous tweet was like 27,000 likes or something, which is respectable. But all I wrote after the fight was, well, that sucked. And I didn't feel like I needed to elaborate anymore on that. I think it was pretty obvious. And it got like 170,000 likes or something absurd. So I think people are enjoying my pain, which, whatever. And then, I don't want to say it, but Heather Hardy, she's a fighter on here. She said MMA is hard. Stop being assholes when people lose. Takes a lot of balls to step in the cage. And while that is true, I feel like I probably deserve it. I've been antagonizing people for about a decade now, and it never came up on the end of the stick. Now, I'm not reading everything they're antagonizing me with. Obviously, I'm scrolling through it. I don't want to dwell on that. But fair enough. I always figured when this point happened that I would get lit up, and I'm not paying attention to it, but I'm sure I am. I'm getting lit up.
When you say Greg Hardy and you need training partners, so Aaron Foster shows up to help you out.
I ain't saying that, but good luck to both fighters.
I mean, I don't know if Greg ever tackled Aaron Foster because, as we all know, he doesn't like to hit men.
He has, as I'm sure you've seen, he has taken a lot of shots at you. He's been talking about you since long before you were even in the UFC. Have you seen this stuff, and do you feel like he has crossed the line at any point? Has he made this too personal?
Whatever he needs to do to sell a fight on his end, man. When you're talking about peasants and children, obviously I got some experience dealing with children. They act out, they lash out so they can get what they want, man. And that's really the only way they know how to act. They don't know how to act like professionals. They don't know how to act like gentlemen, and they don't know how to act like world-class fighters. And that's what I'm trying to keep my mind on. That's what I'm trying to keep my actions reflecting, and just to stay in that world. So I haven't seen or paid attention to a lot of anything he's saying, but not really worried about it through it all.
So thus far in your MMA career, no one has really tried to poke you like he has. And I'm wondering, like this week in San Antonio, you will probably be around him. You'll have a face-off and whatnot. Are you getting prepared so that you don't fight emotionally in there, right? That you just kind of go out and do whatever you have to do?
Yeah, after the Allen Crowder fight, man, fighting emotionally is just out the window. For me, this is something that I've been developing and kind of growing into, man. And I'm in a stage right now to where, like I said, I'm trying to be a professional fighter, man. Like I was a professional football player, and I'm sort of like finding my niche and finding my area in this field, man. And there's just no room for childish antics and poking, as you say, in this fight. If you would have said something about, my fight style, being able to beat me, this, that, and the other, that would have been worth addressing or something like that. But just the little barbs just shows that he's like I said, he's a rookie, he's a child. That doesn't affect me, man. I'm a superstar. I don't address things like that.
Johnny Walker says Jones won't fight him because he doesn't want to lose to an unknown. Says he has 2 fights before he will get a shot at Jones and is willing to take one of those at heavyweight. And if he needs, he will welcome a matchup with Ngannou. Explain, Harrington, what's going on there?
Well, they stopped Johnny Walker, basically. A bunch of fans, when Jones put out, hey, who do you want to see me fight next? A bunch of fans said Johnny Walker. Jones made the point, nobody knows who he is. It'd be a squash match at this point, and there'd be nothing for you guys to look forward to. I guess he understands people are looking forward to that matchup, and he doesn't want to ruin it just yet. Walker himself came out and said, it makes sense. Jones is afraid to fight me because I'm an unknown, and that's real bad for his legacy. So I got to win 2 more fights. I'm not afraid of anybody. Bring on any heavyweight. I'll fight Ngannou. That guy bangs.
So Johnny Walker said he'd fight Ngannou.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, absolutely. UFC aren't going to make that matchup. It's never, ever going to happen unless Walker became UFC champion and this and that, and then talked about going up for weight class and all the rest of it. And that's a long, long, long way off. So, yeah, you're right. You can say all these types of things and sound like an absolute badass, and you're never going to get checked for it. So I see what he's doing there. Jones, also, you got to understand it from his perspective. I think the biggest threat right now to to John Jones is Johnny Walker. I think Johnny Walker gives him a lot of problems, but I understand it from Jones's perspective. He's still not well known enough to the average MMA fan. You know, he's had a big splash. He's had a few big wins in very, very quick time. And in fact, he's injured right now because he injured himself on his post-fight celebration. That's the most damage he takes in his fights in his own fucking celebrations. But he's not there yet. He needs another win or two. For one, I think it would be rushing Johnny Walker and potentially bringing him on a little too far too soon. And Jones is right. Another couple more wins, put him in a co-main event, even a fight night main event against a big name. And then all of a sudden you've got a real star on your hands. And then that makes the pay-per-view bigger for everybody involved. You know, so I agree with Jones.
And how about things between you and Dana White? Where do they stand?
They've never been better. Me and Dana White are best friends again. You know, he knows what I bring to the table. He knows the money I draw, and he knows I back up my word, man. I'm a man of my word, and you know, I don't just talk the talk, Ariel. I walk the walk. So Dana knows where I'm coming from, and he knows what I'm bringing August 3rd.
I don't know how you could take Jose Aldo, who was like the only 145-pound champion in UFC history until he lost to Conor, not give him an immediate rematch, but then give Conor a rematch, who got, you know, just worked by Khabib. I mean,
right.
Or whoever wins, right? So obviously it has to be a step down from there. So I would think that the person who lost that bout, but who knows? I mean, it could even be. I don't even know. Sometimes you have to wonder like what Dana even knows at this point, which I don't think is that much either. He doesn't have that much insight. It depends how exciting that fight is, how much appeal, like is there steam coming off of it? Is it interesting for Conor? Because I think anybody that Conor fights right now has to make sense. It has to be a bout that's intriguing overall, because I don't think we have that many left in Conor, to be honest. I don't think he's going to be fighting for a very long time. I think he's going to fight for another year or two, maybe, and then I think he will part ways with the sport. So the fights now, it's like it almost makes more sense to just make kind of super fights, right? I don't think that he's championship material at this point in his career.